I'm happy to be here again. If you're out there live, jump in the chat and tell me that you are. I always love being here on Wednesdays when I can be, and we're working hard as well on the program. We are officially opening it now up wide. So if you're interested in the Transform MS 10-week program with me, twice a week live, our last, hi Lisa, our last cohort gave it rave reviews. It was a lot of fun for me to do. Some really intense learning and knowledge building, creating empowered understanding, not just information collecting, right? Getting milestones and steps and exercises to, integrate some of the stuff that we talk about so that it becomes part of what's going on in your life. And we're live twice a week. On Mondays, there's a live lesson with me, and sometimes with special guests. And on Thursday, we have a very magical discussion group. So I hope you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. I hope you will join us. If you are looking to if you're looking to join but just need a little bit more to talk to me, we're going to open up some discovery calls for you. These calls are for you if you're trying to, make a final call on the program. So Mike will be posting that in our group later this week, maybe tomorrow. So if you're interested, you can connect with me, and I will tell you why it's a good fit, and you can tell me what your concerns are. Anyway, enough about that. Tonight, I want to talk about the concept of transforming MS naturally in this crazy modern world. And it seems that people are interested in having options, and they certainly want to do things more naturally than, say, perhaps pharmaceuticals. But then you've heard me say this before, they apply the same modern chaos model to natural. And that's just not the way natural healing works. So we get lost in that what I call a crazy quest for a cure. What should I be taking? What should I be doing? I just want to fix this. I just want it to go away. And that's not what natural healing is all about. Natural healing is not about one thing. It's not even about two things. It's about everything you do to build yourself a platform that's going to serve you through the rest of your life, right? So in that crazy chaos, in this modern world, some of the very essentials of modern healing get overlooked. And those essentials are about bringing balance back in, right? Lost balance, whether that's balance in our mindset, our emotional state, whether that's balance in our organ systems, whether that's balance in our lifestyle, in our routines. We want to get that balance back. And of course, one of my favorite things to say is we want to bring more health in. We've got this diagnosis, so that's, equated to disease. So in order to get rid of the disease, naturally, a great way to do that is by bringing more health in. And in a world that measures and rewards itself on what we get done, so doing, there is no room for the non-doing. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Stillness as a natural healing tool. And as we'll see in our discussion, we've moved into science with this, because there are actually studies that have been done specifically with MS and the concept of stilling the mind. So what happens when we reward and measure ourselves by how much we do in a day? Um, Two things. That doing becomes a vicious cycle, right? And it never stops. And I get that. I'm one of those doers by default. So every once in a while I'll go, hold on a second. Where did my being go? And then the other thing is, so we've got that doing becoming a vicious cycle, and the non-doing, the stillness that we're talking about becomes grossly overlooked. In fact, it can be rejected by our modern culture, right? What do we hear? Hi, what you doing? What do you get done today? It's become part of our vernacular. So we've got to think about one main thing. And this is whenever I talk to anybody who will listen to me, I tell them the most important thing you can do in managing your MS is to manage your stress response, because stress and MS is a connection that goes back to the mid 1800s when MS was first named. Our emotional so that MS stress connection is well established. Our emotional body connection is well established. So we've got this stress connection. We know now in mind body medicine that the mind is connected to the body. So it stands to reason that finding a point of stillness in the day is just a good idea. In fact, it's in a lot of ancient civilizations like the Eastern cultures. It goes back thousands of years, 3,000 years, understanding the importance of finding that point of stillness. So one of the hallmarks of natural healing, of course, is self-care, and finding that point of stillness is right up there. It's one of those self-care things. And remember, when I say self-care, I'm not talking about a spa day, and I'm not talking about mother and daughter mani pedis. I'm talking about what it is you're doing that is making the rest of your body work better. And these things don't necessarily come in a bottle, right? These are the things that we do that make everything else work. And you've heard me talk about castor oil packs. Today we're talking about finding that point of stillness. And I'll bring you some of the other 5 that I have all of my patients do as part of my practice. But finding that point of stillness gives us time to connect with ourselves. It gives us time to connect with nature and our environment. It gives us time to connect with other people in a very authentic way. So there are all kinds of benefits to that. Finding a point of stillness intentionally. So I'm not saying, oh, look, everybody's gone out for the evening. I'm alone. I've got my stillness. No. I'm talking about with intention, creating your space and finding that point of stillness and whatever it is that you're going to want to do there. So, how do you know if you need to calm your central nervous system and find a point of stillness in your day? Well, the fact that you have MS is one big factor, but it could be you have anxiety. It could be you have depression. It could be you are finding it hard to concentrate or focus. Maybe you're not sleeping well. Maybe you've got a lot of spasticity. All of these things, digestive disorders are a big one because, of course, the mind and the gut, the brain-gut connection is huge. But all of these things are a good sign that you should probably find your point of stillness. And you know what? People tell me all the time, and I know myself from experiencing it, that once you feel the benefits of having a regular routine of whatever your point of stillness is, that your body craves it because you feel so much better afterwards. I hear it all the time. So we've also got studies that have been done specifically on MS and meditation, which is one way to find a point of stillness in your day. And those studies, I just jotted this down. So the studies on meditation and MS show improvements in energy, mood, pain reduction, better sleep, better concentration and focus, and overall quality of life. So that's some pretty, that is some pretty, that's some, sorry, I just got distracted by an old friend of mine who joined the chat. Hi, Denise. So those are some pretty awesome benefits for a disease whose, or a health condition whose, some of those are hallmarks of multiple sclerosis, aren't they? The lack of energy, the pain, and people are always looking for pain management techniques. Well, meditation has become one of those officially. So oddly enough, I find people can throw up all kinds of objections to finding that point of stillness. It's almost like they're afraid of what they'll find when they go there. And fair enough, right? Because if you stop that chitter chatter that's going on in your mind, you might just be faced with some stuff that you have stuffed down. So, that's a great time to have a journal handy and capture that. And maybe it helps you to realize that maybe someone on your healthcare team needs to be somebody that can help you with some emotional issues, with traumas that you've experienced, with unmitigated, the impact of unmitigated stress. So all of these things we know now, of course, now being in our lifetimes, even our parents didn't talk about how you feel or the traumas you sustained. You just sucked it up, buttercup, right? So, what do I mean when I say point of stillness? Tell me in the chat how you find your point of stillness in the day, because I'm interested to hear. And what do I mean? The first thing is, and this can be your default, is just stop and breathe. Simple, but we don't do that breathing thing very much, do we? In fact, it only takes 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths, or deep belly breaths, if you will, to switch the autonomic nervous system from the stress response into the parasympathetic relaxation response. And remember, it's in the relaxation response that our bodies heal, right? They don't heal in the stress response because they're just struggling to stay alive there, right? So breathing, stop and taking a breath, having a regular meditation routine, or for some people that might be a regular prayer routine. And I love what Deepak Chopra says, when he was asked, what his morning routine looks like: wake, pee, meditate. There you go. There's a little something for you to try on. Okay. So meditation, and there's all kinds of different meditations. And, you don't have to like climb to the top of K2 and zone out for a week. You can use guided meditations. I've meditated for decades, and I still use guided meditations because I like that. It's what I prefer. So there's all kinds. YouTube has become an incredible resource for meditations if you haven't already found that out. Journaling is another way to find a point of stillness and a point of release for a lot of people, and you can really dig deeply into some aspects of yourself when you're journaling, even if you didn't realize you were going to go there. So journaling can be a really powerful way to calm things. And the last one that I'm thinking of right now is spending time in nature. And this is actually on every one of my therapeutic plans for the last 20 years, for every patient who sees me. And that is every day, without exception, find a time to connect with nature. And I mean, connect with all the senses. Obviously, or maybe not obviously, maybe you don't have good vision, but first is to see it. You can smell it, you can hear it, you can feel it. You feel the wind or the sun. So take the time to deeply, deeply connect with nature. That will, I mean, so many cultures have healing practices that are directly connected to being in nature, and forest bathing is the first thing that pops into my mind by way of example. So those are some ideas for finding your point of stillness. I just want to say hello, Emma Ray. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Facebook user. I don't have a name on Facebook user under yours. Hi, Lisa. And of course, Denise. No? Okay. And Emma's telling me something. Sometimes when I'm utterly still, I get a little spooked. Yeah. Like the last few days when I just did not have the strength to fight the fatigue. Okay. So when you don't have the strength to fight the fatigue, maybe, and I'm not being facetious, Emma, I'm being very, very sincere. Maybe a nap then is better than a meditation. I mean, we have to look and see what our body needs in the moment. Yeah, sometimes when we when we stop, we go, holy crap, I really just need a nap. And that's okay too. Thanks for sharing that. Um, Okay, very good. So what I wanted to do, um, remember I said the simplest thing is to just breathe. The simplest, most overlooked thing is to just breathe. We're going to do a little bit of breath work right now. So I want us first to acknowledge the fact that we kind of live in the top part of our lungs, in this little area of our lungs right there. And guess where the oxygen exchange happens? So, your lungs are important for delivering oxygen to your body, right? We breathe it in and it happens at the bottom of our lungs. So, in those every day when we're go, 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 we're breathing into the top of our lungs. We're not really getting that oxygen exchange. So, you're not getting the energy or the clarity or any of the other magical things that come from having oxygen that we would get from a deeper breath. So I want you to think about when we do this exercise, and it might take you a few breaths just to get beyond that part of your lungs, to take nice deep breaths. I want you to think about that diaphragm slowly dropping, and on its way down, it's massaging the vagus nerve. And what that's doing is switching on the relaxation response. Did you know that it only takes 3 deep breaths to switch from the stress response to the relaxation response? And the benefits of that are actually cumulative. So if you do 3 deep breaths in the morning and 3 at lunch and 3 at dinner, the benefit doesn't just disappear when you stop the breath work. It carries on through the day and is cumulative. Did you have your hand up?
Some people that have a challenge with meditation, maybe talk about Lorraine and her example with the swimming.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you all know that my technical meister, Mike, is always in the background here. And he brought up a good point that was raised in one of my programs, which was someone who said, I just can't meditate. And when we started talking about what she does every day she gets in the pool and she does 50 laps. And she says, that's my happy place. Well, guess what? That's also her point of stillness. That's also a meditative practice. A meditative practice is simply the repetition, right? The repetition. And very importantly, coming back to that repetition when you realize you've been distracted, because you will be distracted. That's the way life goes, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm just going to check in with Emma here one more time, and then we're going to do some nice breathing. Well, I agree, but I haven't been out of bed for over 2 days. Yeah, 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 I hear you. I hear you, Emma. Okay, so Let's start by, I just want you, let's just take the shoulders right up to the ears and drop them and let them go. Let's get rid of some of that tension that we hold up here. One more time. Bring your shoulders right up to your ears and let them go. And you can just take some regular nice breaths now. You can either close your eyes or you can just cast them downward, whatever you feel the safest and most comfortable with. But I want you to start by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Feel that diaphragm pushing down as the belly rises. Hold that breath for a few seconds and slowly let it go. One more time, a nice deep breath in. Hold for a few seconds and slowly let it go. And one more time, nice deep breath in. Hold it and let it go. And just go back to your regular breathing pattern. And when you're so inclined, open your eyes and come back to us. And the important thing I want you to think about when you do stuff, and you know what, I might be a little bit crazy, but these are the things that I think about, is that in those 3 simple breaths, you have changed the biochemistry of your body, right? And that becomes an incredibly important tool in transforming MS naturally. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.